Yes, I was reading this, and I found it somewhat interesting. Right. Now, a long time ago, yes, there was what was known as the Philadelphia Archdiocese. Yes. Could you call Philadelphia for me? Because it seems, yes, that the Catholics had some sort of influence on the actual formation of the United States. Ooh. Um, See, what happened was in 1748, yes, the Cretan retired for Bohemia Manor in 1749, yes. Then during the French and Indian War, the loyalty of the Catholics was questioned, and there was a move to keep all papists out of the Philadelphia militia. Now, what then happened is St. Joseph's remained a chapel, and then during the Revolution, many of St. Mary's parishioners were leaders of the colonial forces. One exception occurred when General Howe withdrew from Philadelphia in the summer of 1778, taking with him a Roman Catholic battalion. Now, this Philadelphia diocese seemed that on September 7th of 1777, and if you're big into four sevens, like you're one of these witches that is into numerology or something, yeah, just add up 7777 and multiply that by 7. What do you get? Now, members of the Continental Congress, look at that. And the Requiem Mass of General Duke Coudray. Oh, there were July 4th of 17, the first public religious commemoration of the Declaration of Independence. They had never had a public commemoration of the Declaration of Independence. And 3 years after it was signed, yes, and sent to England, they decided to have one of those. Seems real nice. And then on November 4th of 1781, the Congress met with General Washington at a solemn mass of thanksgiving for victory over the English. I think the Constitution was signed right around that time. Now, I know the Catholics have been very involved in this whole concept of the United States of America. Yes. Now, let me see here. Oh, oh, Rosemont College, a Catholic women's college in Philadelphia. Oh. Now, exactly what individuals don't think that the Catholics were very involved in what happened to the United States of America? I was kind of looking at their profession of faith and oath of fidelity. Yes. Canon 833 of the 1983 Code of the Canon Law of the Latin Church. They require profession of faith. You probably can get sued for violating it. I know a lot of Catholic theologians say, no, we say this, but we don't mean it. There's no actual liability for not doing what you had sworn as an oath. But the approved formula, see, this was really interesting. Yes. In addition to the inadequate interval before it was to go into effect, it lacked signatures and a date. Now, when you think about it, yes, page 740, although the Latin text printed in La Osservatore Romano were accompanied by a note of presentation. Without an actual signature and date, they didn't go into effect. Now, for some reason, right, you thought that it didn't require a signature and a date of the actual petitioner, even though it's in the RCWs. Yes. It looks like a lot of Catholic laws, they require signatures and dates. and it doesn't mean anything to the county, right? But let's say that you're a Catholic, yes, and you had a profession of faith. It says, I, Paul Budnick, with firm faith, believe and profess everything that is contained in the symbol of faith, namely, oops, I believe the Nicene Creed. Oh, with firm faith, I also believe everything contained in God's Word. Oops, written or handed down in tradition and proposed by the church, oh, whether by way of solemn judgment or through the ordinary and universal magisterium as divinely revealed in calling for faith. I also firmly accept and hold each and everything that is proposed definitively by the church regarding to. Yeah, they have an approved formula here. Seems like a lot of those individuals involved in Catholicism. Moreover, yes, I'd hear with a religious submission of will and intellect to the teachings which either the Roman Pontiff or the College of Bishops enunciate, yeah, when they exercise the authentic magisterium, even if they proclaim those teachings by an act that is not definitive. Now, as I was looking at those that are employees of the Catholic faith, yes, they can't actually enforce any law without a signature and date. Now, when you really look at it, there's the oath of fidelity on assuming an office to be exercised in the name of the church. Yes. Oath of fidelity, the 1989 Oath of Fidelity. It's distinct from the profession of faith. A lot of Catholics, they say the profession of faith, but do they really have to say the Oath of Fidelity? Now, paragraph one, the one taking the oath promises, both in words and conduct, always to preserve communion with the Catholic Church. Can you be excommunicated? Persons that are obliged to take the oath? Yes. The principal question asked by canonists, and especially teaching theologians, is who are obliged to take the oath of fidelity? The document specifies many named in the latter part of Canon 833, numbers 5 through 8, but not all office holders listed in the second half of the canon are included. As the title of oath indicates, excuse me, it is to be taken by individuals on assuming an office to be exercised in the name of the church. Now, why don't you give me all of those that have taken the fidelity oath? There's a little $100 billion that I'm wanting to get. Now, not only are you in violation of the required informing of law enforcement of child abduction and child abuse, yes, I'm going to sue the Catholics right now. Right now. Oops. Looks like these oaths are enforceable. How'd you like to be excommunicated?